Chances are, if you're watching this video, you speak English as your native tongue. It's also likely accurate to state that English is the only language that you know with a reasonable command. Literacy rates in English-speaking sovereign states today are remarkable and exceedingly high. It is estimated that nearly 98% of the United States is literate and able to read. English's literacy rates exist because there is a way to write words. However, not all languages have ways to write their words. Imagine English was only a spoken language. You have no way to write things down, and the only way to record stuff is to remember it. Sounds difficult, but this was the reality of the Cherokee language and most indigenous languages of the United States prior to the present day. Cherokee is a language that belongs to the Iroquoian family of languages. Other known languages belonging to the Iroquoian family are the Oneida and Mohawk languages. Cherokee is spoken natively by about 20,000 people, though more commonly it's used by its speakers as a second language rather than a primary. Cherokee once had many recognized dialects, including a dialect that used the sound of the English letter R, though only 2 dialects remain today, and the very dialect which gave us the English name for the Cherokee language is now extinct. In the present day, the Cherokee people call their language and themselves the Tsalagi. The Cherokee language and people owe the preservation of their language and histories to an uneducated tradesman named Sequoyah. Sequoyah worked as a silversmith in early life. In 1809, when Sequoyah was in his 40s, he gathered his close friends in his shop and began the discussion regarding communication through pictures. It was commonly believed to be a form of witchcraft, but Sequoyah, having worked with literate customers, understood that it was a way to preserve words. It was around this time that Sequoyah began to ponder upon how the Cherokee language could be preserved through non-spoken means. Around 1815, Sequoyah had begun the first draft of the Cherokee writing system, which, at first, was to have a symbol for each word. This was not seen as very practical by Sequoyah, as the sheer number of symbols would have been far too difficult to remember. Sequoyah began to observe the spoken language, and found that there were a number of sounds that made up each word when spoken aloud. Sequoyah created a syllabary to give each of these sounds a symbol, resulting in 86 characters. Sequoyah taught 2 members of his family to read and write in his syllabary, but soon was charged with practicing witchcraft. Sequoyah would have been put to death, but due to a new law established in 1811, Sequoyah had the right to a trial before a council of individuals. During this trial, Sequoyah was separated from his daughter, and they were forced to write messages to each other to prove that their symbols represented speech. After a lengthy exchange, the council was convinced that there was no acts of sorcery being committed, and in fact, that Sequoyah had created a system of representing speech through writing. Today, the Cherokee language lives on. It still uses its writing system created by Sequoyah, and preservation efforts are underway in Cherokee communities. Cherokee is classified as an endangered language by UNESCO, with Cherokee preservation groups investing millions of dollars into developing curriculum, opening schools, and making Cherokee language integration into communities possible. The outlook for the Cherokee language is looking good. 3 public universities exist in the United States which offer Cherokee programs to aid revitalization of the language. It's hard to say whether or not the Cherokee language will live on in great capacity, but thanks to Sequoyah and his curious determination, Cherokee is preserved for scholars to study for millennia. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing for more content. The information used to produce this video came from a few sources. Cherokee.org, a website founded by the Cherokee Nation to provide an online Cherokee resource to Cherokee communities. Beginning Cherokee by Ruth Bradley Holmes and Betty Sharp Smith, published in 1977.